Hey guys, so the other day a viewer asked me a question about whether he should buy a new or used motorcycle. Doesn't that look beautiful? I just think that looks fucking beautiful. Sorry, I'll peel my eyes off of that and look at the road. And I'm going to answer that question right here. Now, the thing about the question new versus used is, let's go over some of the pros and cons. Buying used, you're going to save money. You're gonna save money when you buy used. That is the biggest pro. Everything else is pretty much cons. If you buy used, you're gonna save money. And also, if you buy used, you can, for instance, if there's a model that's discontinued. Is that a cop? I think it is, so we're just gonna relax. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. If you buy used, oh, what's he doing? Sorry, I cannot motovlog when there's a cop. I just can't, like my brain just... Anyway guys, if you buy used, it's going to be cheaper. Not only will you save money, you will also be able to choose for different models. See, when you buy used, you can go into older stock. Like for instance, this bike that I'm riding right now, I could not buy this bike new. The 2008 Honda CBR600RR no longer sells brand new, as far as I know. So it's a different model now, different look, different different everything. I don't think it's a different engine, but it's a different model now, which is the new ones, and they're completely different. And I wanted this bike, so that's why I went with this bike. When you buy used, you get that option. You can buy, you know, older models that are nicer. I mean, there's a lot of old bikes that I really like. So that's the pros of buying used. You get to save money, and you get to choose from old models that may be discontinued. Okay? Those are the two pros. Everything else is pretty much cons. Now, when I say by cons, I mean it's a used bike. You don't know how reliable that bike is. You don't know how the previous owner treated it. And this goes for dealers and private parties like Craigslist. Because the dealer, they pick up the bike and they go through it and make sure everything's okay. But if the previous owner, I don't know, like they don't go through it all the way. They don't tear the engine down and make sure everything's tip-top shape. Like there's gonna be certain things they are not gonna be able to look after. Even when you buy at a dealer, you're taking a risk with a used bike. With a brand new bike, you spend more money, but you're not taking as much of a risk, if any at all. You buy a brand new bike, you know that as long as you take care of it, you know the history of that bike. And you know what you're getting, you know what you're doing, and that's a good feeling, knowing all that. Not only that, but you're the only person to ride that bike. That's kind of satisfying to know, like, oh man, nobody has ever ridden this machine before. This bike has only been ridden by me. That's kind of nice. So that's what the pros are to new versus used. Now I'm going to give my opinion, whether or not you should buy used or new. And I would say it depends, of course, with our biggest con with new bikes. Because new is better pretty much in every single way. I mean, that, it is. And you can argue against it, I'm sure. Now, if you're a multi-millionaire, you got shit tons of cash in the bank, then you're gonna want to just fucking buy whatever bike you want brand new. Who gives a shit, right? Because who cares if you fucking smash the thing up? Who cares if you, you know, decide to sell it and don't even use it, because you're worth millions. So you're excluded. You just buy new, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, unless you really like an older style bike. But for the rest of us, I would seriously, if you're a new rider, just buy used. Even if you're able to afford the new, I would still go used, just because it's smart to save money, guys. And don't finance your first motorcycle, please. You shouldn't finance really any motorcycle, but especially your first bike. Don't finance it. It's just such a waste of money. I mean, just seriously, if you can't afford a bike, I mean, you only need about $1,000 so you can get a really decent beginner bike used off Craigslist. And if you can't afford even that, then you gotta wait. Just motorcycling is an expensive, dangerous hobby, and you gotta be willing to shell out the money for it. You can't do that bullshit where you're just trying to pussyfoot around it and just pay a little bit here and there, doing like a fucking loan. Like, don't do that. Just be smart with your money, guys. But hey, you know your situation better than I do. I'm just giving you my advice, what I would do personally. And what I would do personally is, if I'm not a millionaire, I'm buying used, especially for my first bike. And that's why I've owned 5 different used motorcycles. I've never bought a single brand new one though. I could never recommend that you finance a toy, but I could see the argument a little bit more at that point in time if you are a seasoned rider and you just want to get your dream bike. But I would really recommend just saving up the money. So that's pretty much it, guys. New riders, buy used. If you're a millionaire, buy new. If you're a seasoned rider, well, it depends. Another thing too I want to talk about is leftover models. Now, the great thing about leftover models is that you kind of get the best of both worlds. You're getting something that is brand new, nobody's ever ridden it before, but you're able to take a little bit off the price, which is fucking awesome. Now, if you get leftover, it's the best of both worlds, right? You're getting a brand new bike and you're getting a little bit of a deal. You're cutting a few bucks off the price. So I still would not recommend getting a leftover model unless it's a killer fucking deal. If you're a new rider. If you're a seasoned rider, leftover model, good, go for it, man. Even if you're a millionaire, it might be worth it. And just for a couple other little tidbits, I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm just going to mention, if a bike is brand new, a brand new model, and I'm going to use the Yamaha R1M, or the R1, whatever, the brand new one from 2015, 16. This is the first year for this generation of Yamaha R1s, and because of that, they actually had an issue. A lot of the Yamahas had, what, transmission issues, I believe it was. So there was a huge recall and you had to get your transmission done. Like, it just sucked. So you don't really know when you buy a brand new model. I mean, for instance, like the old 2008 CBR600RRs, they had oil burning issues. Nobody knew about that until after a couple of years. So you buy the bike, you want to keep this bike for 8, 10 years, or 4 years, 5 years. You want to keep it for the long term, and you find out it has a fucking oil burning issue because it's a new fucking model, and nobody on the internet knew that when you bought the bike, you know, and you assumed it was going to be reliable. So that's just something to consider if you're going to buy a brand new model. And that goes whether you're a seasoned rider, a new rider, whatever. I typically like to wait at least 6 months for something, like a cell phone. You know, and I get a cell phone, I like to wait 6 months, make sure that all the bugs and everything is worked out of it before I commit to the cell phone. Because you're stuck with that cell phone for 2 years, and who wants to be stuck with a shitty phone? And with a bike, it's obviously 1,000 times worse. Ooh, those look fun. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna go eat, I'm hungry, and I got a few other things I got to do. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and bye-bye.